I think Omer Meyer has been the most popular name on our channel in the last week, largely because he has been the story of the FIBA U19 World Cup, in my opinion. He leads this event in scoring per game, in total points right now. He's coming off a 33-point performance where he was just on fire from three and from everywhere yesterday in Israel's win. In the knockout stage, he's been sensational. We have videos recapping those games, even talking about his struggles in game two. We've kept it very real along the way. Well, the internet is discovering Omer and loving what they're seeing from Omer. In fact, one of our favorite college basketball experts, Ryan Hammer, had a tweet yesterday that's going to get Purdue fans' attention. He was loving the Omer performance, and he quote tweeted his own tweet with Omer, a picture of him in a Purdue jersey, with some highlights from yesterday. And this is the caption. This is what Ryan Hammer said. Kid is insane, dot, dot, dot. Someone said, quote, Israeli Carson Edwards, because that's what he looked like today. Then he projects a lineup, which includes Braden, Omer, Fletcher Lawyer, TKR, and Clough, with Jacobson, Harris, Cox, Murphy, West off the bench. Good Lord, Purdue, dot, dot, dot. Shout out to Ryan Hammer. He was on our Draft Palooza show last year. We've done some social work with him in the past, too. One of the best in the business, in my opinion. Go follow him. But this is the first time I have heard the words Israeli Carson Edwards for Omer Meyer. Do you think that's a crazy comparison, Riley?
I don't. I think it'd be a little bit crazy to expect him to be All-American Carson Edwards like he was his last year at Purdue. But at the same time, you see the flashes. You definitely see the comp. Like, I don't know if he's going to put up those type of numbers, but this kid just looks special. My thought watching him tear up Cameroon was that Purdue, they better win the Natty this year. Like, they got to. It's an insane roster, and you already have the best point guard in the sport, and you're putting this guy next to him who is a more than capable secondary playmaker. He had 7 assists in this game, and he's just incredibly polished at a young age. I mean, he has terrific footwork. I love like the audacity to take some of the shots that he did at that point in the game. That seemed like Carson Edwards as well, just not afraid of the moment at all. And I would say, as I was watching this, it's like maybe Cameroon should guard him on the left wing, but then they started like throwing bodies at him and he was still knocking down contested shots. It just seems like he can get wherever he wants to on the court. Some of the passing, like some of those assists that he had too, they weren't cheap assists. They were like straight up passing guys open, wraparound types. Like I can't say enough about how good this kid has looked throughout the FIBA U19 World Cup, averaging over 23 points per game. These performances don't always translate at this event. I think Fran Fraschillo is making jokes that like you and I could score on some of these interior defenses, but still, I think it's just been so impressive what he's done throughout this tournament and played a lot of high level ball already. Like saw real action in the Euro League this past year. Played in Israel's top domestic league as well. Like he's got a lot of experience. This isn't just an 18-year-old who's been playing in the second division who you're hoping hits. He's a guy who's playing against grown men and has held his own, if not more.
Yeah, he is sensational. I mean, I'm running out of ways to talk about how much I like Omer. I think I don't know, I've been sort of the one of the drivers of the big swings here because I was really disappointed in what he did in game two. And I don't know if you watched the full footage of that game or not, but it was just a totally different game from him. He couldn't buy a jumper, and I thought he let it affect a lot of other things, kind of tunnel vision on drives and just kind of leading his team into bad spots. Outside of that performance, I haven't seen him struggle at all. It's like the game is played totally on his terms. As far as the Carson Edwards comp goes, um, I simultaneously like see what we're going for here with the step back stuff and the
Mm.
shot creating off the bounce, but I also and I love Ryan Hammer. I hate it. I hate the comp, and I think Ryan is sharing it from someone else, so it's not even Ryan himself coming up with the take, as far as I know. But like, I, this is why I hate it. It's not because the shot making isn't somewhat similar. Carson Edwards was not a passer at all.
Yeah, yeah.
At all. And like to me, the biggest part of Omer's game that is intriguing is the vision and the playmaking for others. And yes, in this game, he had to go hero mode, down 14 in the third. Ba ba, three, three, three. I called it Jimmer like. I, that's the shot making is awesome. He's great. But it's always going to come back to the fact that he is a floor general, pick and roll point guard first that usually always makes the right play. If you overhelp like they did in game two, he's trying to pass like he did at the Nike Hoop Summit. And if you don't, then he can do all of this little step back, one step to the side, off the dribble shot making. I think Purdue fans, and this is something all college basketball fans do, but Purdue fans in general, I think like to compare their guys to their guys. This is what they've always done. They're looking to process new things in the lens of old things, Paynerisms, right? The best off the dribble guy we've ever had is Carson Edwards. So our new off the dribble guy is Israeli Carson Edwards. There's nothing similar about their games other than the fact that both were good scorers off the dribble. And I am trying to come up with a comp I actually really like for Omer, and I'm struggling a little bit. I mentioned that the shooting was Jimmer like yesterday, but I don't like Jimmer as a comp because Omer's not shooting from the logo. And again, he's a better passer than Jimmer was. I think I've landed on the comp I like, and I'm worried that you might hate it or that Purdue fans might hate it.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
Please
bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New York.
New York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado
is. It's in Colorado. There's a state of Colorado.
Is that this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. You got to view this in the lens of the NBA playoffs this year.
Mm-hmm.
I see some TJ McConnell, but bigger TJ McConnell, which is great. A bigger TJ McConnell would be sensational. Hear me out. You have to start with passing, and I'm going to go off TJ McConnell college stats. He was always a high assist guy. His freshman year, he was 4.5 assists, topped out at 6.5 assists. He was always an elite playmaker. He was always a great shooter. First 2 years in college, 40%, 43% from three. Like, if you left him open, he was going to hit it. I don't think in college TJ was much more than a point guard, like a true floor general type, but he's gotten to the NBA where he's this scoring burst off the bench. You saw him in the NBA playoffs do a bunch of these like, oh, I'll blow by you, oh, I'll stop on a dime, little mid-range jumpers. That's what we just watched Omer do all day yesterday, although he took a little bit higher three-point volume than TJ McConnell does. But any comp you come up with, I don't care if you're trying to highlight the shooting off the dribble. It has to start with the passing because that's part of what makes Omer special. So, yeah, Carson, throw it out. That dude never saw a pass he wanted to make in his life. Omer is way more unselfish than that. I'm going with TJ McConnell, Riley.
I just want someone who's a little more of a high ceiling type guy.
Okay.
McConnell is steady for sure.
Won a lot of games in college.
But he averaged like 9 points per game at Arizona. And I know you say factor in the playoffs as well, who he is now. Maybe that's the realistic comp, but that's not the comp that I want for my number one team national champion favorite, Purdue. I want you to
it's not sexy to say Israeli TJ McConnell.
I want you to just go ahead and say Israeli Tyrese Halliburton and really get people going.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Hold on. I'm trying to think if there's an Old Testament play I could do off of Halliburton. Give me next.
Take your time with that.
I have a friend who's Jewish and a really good basketball player, and one time I referred to myself as Jen Tyler Hansborough to him, and he loved that. So so maybe if I can somehow top that with Omer Meyer for Halliburton, maybe we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, I see what you're doing in terms of like McConnell can do the whole plays with great pace, stop, start, speed, everything. And I think Meyer has a lot of that in his game. I really like the passing of Meyer, but I don't know if I might push back and say I'm more intrigued by his scoring upside than his passing.
So
I don't know if you have to lead with the point guard side of things in terms of just because he's a 6'4" bucket getter.
So I meant to give you some numbers on this before I went into my Israeli McConnell comp. Dylan from Hoops pulled this in the Michigan forums yesterday because I've been loudly singing Omer's praises in the Michigan forums, and a lot of Michigan fans are just like, not impressed, which is on brand. But this is something that's actually noteworthy that I don't think anyone's talked about with Omer yet. In this FIBA run, Synergy has Omer Meyer 2 for 7 at the rim.
Ooh.
He's 15 for 31 on pull-up jumpers.
Mm-hmm.
That's great, of course. If you're 15 for 31 on pull-up jumpers, that's unreal. That's also like wildly unsustainable. Like you want your offensive engine score first type to be generating easier buckets, getting to the rim and finishing, not making a bunch of contested fadeaway 2s and 3s. And it's great that he's making them. It's been electric. That's why he's the story of the tournament. But that would be just like put an asterisk on it a little bit for me, is like, if you're expecting Carson Edwards, part of Carson Edwards' success was that he got to the rim and postered people.
Mm-hmm.
Omer Meyer is 2 for 7 at the rim against some of the worst competition he will play in the rest of his basketball career this week.
Pretty good point, Greg.
It's going to change at Purdue because he's playing between Braden and TKR, so his shots are going to be a lot easier. But again, I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm as big of an Omer fan as I can be, but to me, if we're trying to make the special comps, the passing's got to be part of why he's special. But can you help me come up with somebody better than McConnell? Like, where else could we go?
How about Israeli Malik Monk?
No passing though, right? Like, it's got to be like a comp
Yeah.
guard.
I'm just thinking of someone who's like the cell is the pull-up shooting and what he can do off the bounce, the step backs. I mean, an Israeli version of a fully realized Boogie Fland. Because I thought going into last year, Boogie Fland was going to be the best shot creator in the class, and he has the passing ability as well. He averaged nearly 5 assists a game. So maybe it's something like that. But I know that gets back to McConnell, where it's at this point, it's more so based on like who Boogie Fland could be, and it's not sexy.
Well, the thing too for me is like, okay, we're processing him through the lens of he's going to play next to Braden right now.
Right.
But what does he look like a year from now when Braden leaves if he's back for year 2 in Purdue? Is he a floor general point guard or is he something else? I don't know. It could be either. Honestly, if we want to, now we're going back in the Purdue fans trope. Maybe he's Israeli Braden Smith.
Might end up being the best comp when it's all said and done, Greg.
It's funny. That's what PJ Thompson, their offensive coordinator, said. Purdue fans, let us know what the comp should be in the comments. And let me know if you hate me for Israeli TJ McConnell. Reminder, it's been a decade since he was in college. He's still in the league winning games.